Hey there. So here's an ab exercise to help you essentially learn how to contract your abs a little bit better. The big problem with ab exercises is that most people unconsciously or subconsciously actually use more of their hip flexors than they use their abs. Hip flexors are essentially strong and dominant, and when you do ab movement, essentially when you fold in half, when you bend in half, these two muscles, the hip flexors as well as the abs, are involved or work together. But naturally speaking, naturally, probably a good word, the hip flexors are dominant. They're stronger and they take over, and then the abdominals become helpers. And you kind of want to turn that around to whatever capacity you can. And it's mostly a bit of a mental game. So one thing to do is, if you stick your feet underneath something, for example, a sit-up becomes a lot easier because you have the ability to engage more hip flexors. So it's not that your abs work better, it's that more muscles get recruited to do that movement. So if you want to be more effective working your abs, you want to actually do the opposite. You want to work your abs harder and have your hip flexors try to stay out of the way as much as possible, okay? So for this exercise, I want you to sit down, and basically you can keep your legs straight, but it's a little bit easier if you just slightly bend them. And then the idea is to keep your feet on the ground and not let them come up. So the reason why your feet come up is because your hip flexors engage, and since your feet are not stuck under anything, they're going to come up when your hip flexor contracts. So if you're able to keep your feet down during the exercise, it means that your hip flexors are not that engaged, okay? So basically feet down, and then try to round your back by turning your pelvic this way and touch down and then come back up. Just do this movement, short movement, okay? Don't go all the way down and don't go all the way up, okay? So round, stop here and go back. And if you look at my feet, they're not moving at all when I come up. If you basically go up and it's hard and you're doing this, that just means that your hip flexors are kicking in. So this is actually practice to learn how to use your abdominals better and know how to contract and use them better and keep your hip flexors out of it. And then you can translate that into all your ab exercises. If you do an ab exercise and you feel your lower back, that's actually because your hip flexors are taking over, okay? So one of the things to do about that is to actually get better at using your abs and learn how to not engage your hip flexors that much, okay? And this is a great place to start practicing that.